Hi, I'm Demian Gover. Last time we talked about the process that I came to, asking questions about how things worked, the secrets of the universe, and all that. So let's talk about some of the literature that I came to that that opened some doors for me mentally. Um, First of all, guys, we're going to have to talk a little bit about religion. I know it's the first thing they tell you is, don't talk about politics and religion. Well, here we go. So in the mid to late 1800s, it was the first time that we were able to translate all the world's major religious scriptures, and we were able to compare them side by side. And what we found was that when you separate all of the cultural aspects of religion, all the stuff that has really more to do with language and geography than the core of the spiritual doctrine. When you separate all of those things out, it really turns out that everybody's talking about the same thing. Everybody's using slightly different language to describe very similar ideas. And what came from this movement of translating and studying and putting into practical application these ideas, it became really empowering for certain people who were studying these, because what they realized was that it gave them permission to try out all of these ideas. And when you do it, it just works. No, first of all, let me back up and just say, if you're very, very attached to your current religious belief system, first of all, don't worry, you're right. The problem that you're eventually going to have to wrap your head around is that in their own way, everybody else is right too. Now, that doesn't mean just anything goes. What I'm talking about is some very specific ideas here that when you look for them, you're able to find these ideas, a certain set of ideas in the religious scripture of pretty much every major religion in the world. And what this shows us is that it doesn't matter what culture you come from, what time period you're born into. You can find evidence of these ideas continually popping up over history, and mostly what we see really recently is not just people talking about these ideas, but finally using these ideas, putting these ideas into practical application. Now, different people from different religions will get bent out of shape pretty quick about what you should be doing with these ideas, and that's fine. But for us, we're gonna keep any potential judgments and any ideas about what you should and shouldn't be doing with these ideas. We're going to keep those to ourselves, because what we've found out is that whether the consequences are long-term or short-term, the consequences tend to take care of themselves. So when we try some of these mental ideas and when things don't work out the way we want them to. It's kind of self-correcting. We notice when things don't work out. We notice when, life is hard. We notice when life hurts. And if we don't know, how we work, if we don't know how we relate to the rest of the material world and the rest of the universe, and it feels like stuff is just happening to us. And a lot of times it feels like our own emotions are out of our own control. And that's the way everybody gets to start out. Most people start out in this life not knowing how things work, not knowing how they work. Now, some people, they accomplish great things just through sheer enthusiasm, and that's great. But for most people, great change does not occur accidentally. Most of the time, we have to do these things on purpose. And so that's what this sharing of ideas is all about, is learning this change that we want to achieve for ourselves, this understanding that we want to achieve for ourselves. We want to figure out how to do it on purpose. And it turns out that these ideas that we talk about, they're shareable, they're repeatable, and they're even teachable. The thing that is that does seem to constrain us is that for the most part, we can't just do things for each other. We can't just do things for other people. If you want to really change the way you live and change the way you experience things, you don't want to just figure things out and then wait around for things to change. And again, last time we talked about, that knowing and doing both are mental activities. Later we'll talk about, how that manifests in the physical, but for right now, just remember that the doing that we talk about, this is a mental thing, and the doing means choice, and it means commitment to choice. Later we'll talk about what some of those things mean and how we do it. For now, that's all I've got. I'm Demian Gover. Thank you.